Okay, good morning guys. We're back with another quick tip. In this evolution, we're going to talk about placing Rescue 42 struts for a vehicle on its side. Pretty much our bread and butter operation. You guys know that when we got a vehicle on its side, when it's on its tires like it is now, most stable. When it starts to go over on the roof rails, the least stable, okay? So we're going to talk about addressing that. Both these vehicles we're going to be looking at today are on their side, so that they're most stable, and we can cover some bullet points that I want to mention as we're doing that. So first things first, this is the equipment that we want to bring up ideally, or this is what we look at. At minimum, 2 struts in place on the engine side is ideal, okay? The heaviest side of the vehicle, remember 3 is mid-range and 4 is optimal, especially if we're going to extricate. But if we want immediate stabilization, we want to get 2 struts in place on the heaviest side of the vehicle, which is the engine side. If you do this properly, you can do it within a minute and a half, even less than that. We've had it done in 60 seconds. So boss comes off, does a 360 with the Halligan bar. The remaining company is going to come off with step chocks. We like to bring the right angle grinder because it allows us to address cutting muffler brackets if we need be, if we're going to be doing a 4-point stabilization with the struts. We have the truck kits. We got a long and a short. Long is always set on the clean side. We use the short on the dirty side, and 1 ratchet strap. If we can, that's optimum because it's a single ratchet strap to secure strut, 2 full strut bases. So I come up to the vehicle, I make contact with the occupant, try to determine if they're the only one in the vehicle, if they're hurt. Before I touch it, I'm obviously doing my standard inner and outer circle. I'm checking the vehicle for any fluid hazards, any wires, make sure it's not energized. Those underground electrical hubs, guys, we want to make sure that those weren't knocked off into the woods or into a backyard, and now this whole vehicle's energized even though we don't see any wires. If I got the muffler up in the air, guys, remember, you gotta bear in mind that it's probably gonna have the fuel tank on the bottom. So there's the intake, so I'm more than likely going to have a fuel leak, or possibly have a fuel leak, because even those shutoffs on new vehicles can fail. If it's a double muffler, I'm going to check up top to see if the fuel intake's on the clean side up top. But be cognizant, if you see muffler up, single muffler vehicle, that the fuel intake's probably on the opposite side of the muffler and you might have a leak. So dry cam foam, another thing to consider. I'm doing a quick assessment if I'm going to do a 4-point. If I had the muffler right here extending over any of my hard push points framework, that's where that right angle grinder would come into play, where I could cut and get that muffler housing out of the way, which is a lot of times back here and obscuring a hard push point for our combi head. That would come off. Finish my 360, again, because I'm looking at just a quick 2-point, 2-strut application. I come over here, I'm finishing on the engine side, on the dirty side, anchor friendly. I'm trying to find something for a single ratchet strap that's in front of the front tires and in front of the back tires. So if I look at here, here's an option. This is probably my best point right here. But either one of these where I could get the combi head in. Where I've landmarked my spot, okay, for my combi head, there's 2 things I can do. I can place I know the vehicle isn't energized, so I can touch it now. I can lay my bar right across. I actually come up with an extrication. It's basically a little ditty bag. So we got a bar in here that we can do peel and peep with. Take this off, I can come in here. We got crayons that we use, guys, for room search indicators, but it's a nice way on multi-vehicle crashes to mark any occupants that might be entrapped, any DOAs. But wherever I landmarked my anchor point, I can come right over here, and then I can create a little mark right where my anchor point on my clean side is going to be. Otherwise, you just leave your bar right across, come across, and then you got your point. If we weren't able to release the hood, the engine hood, which gives us a nice hard seam, I got to make my own. And the simplest way to do that is just take your Halligan bar, hold it, and then have somebody drive the point in. Remember, you only need about an index finger width to put the point of the combi head in there. And now I got 2 solid anchor points for my combi head. Long strut clean side, short strut dirty side. It's going to give me a single ratchet assembly. The guys will ratchet on the dirty side because it's the most stable, okay? And our target time for this is less than 90 seconds. When the team comes in to do that complete 360, get our step chocks in to create a quick cradle crib, because, yeah, we don't want it rolling over on the roof rails. That's in place. Everything anchored, ratchet strap, tension, we're good to go. Then we got at least minimum stabilization. All right, guys, go. Again, boss doing a quick 360. No one touches the vehicle until he confirms that it's not energized and there's no significant hazards to be worried about.
Go ahead, put your chocks in
Okay, quick temporary stabilization with that little almost semi-cradle crib. Boss has identified both the dirty side anchor point and the clean side anchor point. In this case, they're driving. Create an opening or purchase for the point of the combi head for the long strut on the clean side, short one on the dirty side. Remember that we're shooting for once the struts are tensioned, we're at that 45-degree angle. And again, both the long and the short in line with each other in front of the front tires for initial stabilization. Firefighters work on, at minimum, at least one knee up, one knee down. Catcher stance is ideal in case they got to get out of the way quickly. You got somebody watching the vehicle on the side, and all we need to do is just get the combi head secure, okay? We're not trying to lift the vehicle, just keep that combi head secure and driven into the anchor points. Good angle.